Hello, hello, hello. FIFA Club World Cup podcast coming at you, as always, with myself, Gary Striker, for episode 3, the end or nearly end of match day 2, with the Qooligan with his fingers from a special location in Tennessee, I believe.
Qooligan? Murfreesboro.
Yes, Murfreesboro, yep. Tennessee. Well, good that you can make it as well as you've been bouncing around the country. It's been soccer, both on the professional level and also on the junior level as well, by the sounds of it for you as well.
It is it is the actual MLS Next Cup tournament wonderful. Going on right now, the playoffs and showcase. So yeah,
beautiful, wonderful. And we have a third musketeer with us, which is obviously a special guest. Bob Ventimiglia. I think he's actually that way, depending on how it is. Bob Ventimiglia. Bob, you are obviously the main keystone for the Designated Pundits podcast, the MLS betting podcast that is obviously we know very well and obviously a big fans of as well. Welcome. How are you?
Thank you for having me. It's a great night here to talk about some soccer. A very busy weekend for me with MLS deciding not to take a break. But we're here. We made it through. I watched parts of about 40 different soccer games in the last 7 hours. So, hey, we're here.
There is a lot going on.
Times.
Plus as well, plus a Gold Cup going on as well. The US as well won 5-0 against Trinidad as well. So, yeah.
I forgot about that. Oh, yeah. Wow.
It's just, and we thought this was the off season, right?
Something like that, yeah.
busy end of the season. So yeah, we could go down the wormhole and the rabbit hole of talking about obviously the MLS games and obviously the Gold Cup, but that's not what we're here for. We are obviously here for the FIFA Club World Cup, and we have 4 games today. There is the 4th one actually going on at the time of this recording, the Sounders Botafogo
right
game.
Now. Yep.
I don't know if there's any live score updates or if we can give any.
I can give you a live score update because I have it right here off screen, and it is exactly 0-0 in the 14th minute and 50th second.
There's been a bit of those. So yes, so we were obviously we've been doing this daily show, obviously as you know, Qooligan and Bob, obviously you've been following us as well. So today we're going to be looking through today's games that have already been happened. So we've got the Bayern Auckland game, the PSG Atletico game, and of course the Palmeiras Porto game as well, and obviously sort of we're just going to recap on those, and then depending on how we go on time as well, we'll obviously see what other.
It is exciting because those are 3 different games across 3 different groups.
Yeah, and 3 different.
So you've got Group A, Group B, and Group C all representing and playing some games today. Lots of fun.
They are coming thick and fast. We're going to be having 4 games a day for the next, I think it's the next 2 weeks or something like that as well. It's going to be, I don't want to say the word endless, but it's just going to be continuous and wonderful and magical and always giving us fodder and content to cover and discuss and think about. So as always, FIFA Club World Cup podcast, wherever you're getting to us, like, follow, subscribe, YouTube, on your audio platforms, Spotify. We're also on DAZN as well. If you're following us, if you're not following us there, come and check us out. Obviously, find us on all the socials as well under Hooligan Soccer. That's who we are. I'm Gary Striker. We have the Qooligan, and of course Bob Ventimiglia at the Designated Pundits as well. So, gentlemen, let's get into the first game that happened today: Bayern Munich against Auckland. Qooligan, when we spoke yesterday, I made a call. You said, I re-listened to our show and you said, I think it's going to be like 4-1. I think it's going to be okay. And I think Auckland are going to basically be able to counterattack and go and get a goal. And you said 4-1. I did.
Yeah, I have to step off screen. Sorry, Gary. I have to interrupt you. I have to step off screen because DoorDash just delivered my crow and I'm going to come and eat. I'm going to go and eat it right now on live television. Nope. I got that one absolutely wrong. Nope, 100% wrong.
And I got it, well, a little bit wrong, obviously saying 7-0, and it wasn't 7-0 because it was an absolute...
Oh, you were much more on the side of righteousness, G. Sorry. You were
kicking.
Wow.
10-0, right? 10-0. Oh my God. So Bob, did you catch any of the highlights or catch any of this game at all? And if so, what are your sort of any sort of initial thoughts?
Well, the first thing I thought was that I read that there were some Auckland players who actually worked 9 to 5s that weren't able to make the trip. So maybe it could have been 7-0. Maybe that is really the 3-goal swing we're looking for here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now I'm seeing it from a little bit different perspective. I'm the MLS handicapper. I've been on the big shows. I've been on the Bet US show for a full year and doing all that stuff. And my perspective is that I watch 85% of the soccer I watch is Major League Soccer. 12% is international soccer, and 3% are games like this. I work every Friday night, super late Saturday morning, so I don't get a chance to watch Bayern. This might have been maybe the second or third time I've witnessed them this season, and it was delivered as expected. What else is there to say? It's just a matter of who gets credited with the goals and the assists. I mean, that's all it is. And I'm not sure what the tiebreaker is. I guess it's goals for, because there was no reason for them to stop scoring. If you see 84th and 89th minute goals by Mueller and Nagbury, like it's not even like by subs that are doing it at that point. It's still starters.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was an absolute steamrolling, and again, it was to be expected, to be perfectly honest. And you're right. I think the most interesting narrative of this is the shame. I feel quite bad for him as well. The goalkeeper for Auckland City, Connor Tracy, he is a veterinary supply warehouse manager that distributes pharmaceuticals and nutritions across New Zealand, right? And so rumor has it that he had to apply to get a 2-week vacation to be able to come on this tournament, because obviously he's got a sort of a full-time job as well. So that just sort of tells you the level where you've got like one of the world's best teams, or sort of definitely one of Europe's best teams. And you could just see it was, I mean, within the first like 20 minutes, they were already 4-0 up as well. It was an absolute steamrolling as well. It got to the point where I did wonder, when are they going to employ the mercy rule? And you could see that Vincent Kompany, the manager, at halftime, he took off, I think he took off Elise, because he'd already scored 2 goals as well. And he took off Coleman as well. And then he brought on Nabry. And then also as well, they brought on this young kid as well, who I really like the look of as well, Leonard Carl, who looked very, very good. He made his Bayern debut as well. And he was very, very prominent as well. So yeah, it was an absolute mauling, absolute steamrolling. And I think there was never any doubt that this result, there wasn't going to be a chance of a surprise shock here as well. So yeah, Qooligan, any thoughts on this or any coverage? I know you've been traveling a bit.
They interviewed the captain of the team, right? A 29-year-old named Mario Ilic, and he really did exemplify all the best traits of New Zealand in that interview. Because one, how do you ask a question of somebody who just lost a game 10-0, like, well, how do you feel afterwards? He didn't descend into, a bunch of expletives and were, like code phrase, like code language that Kiwis would have understood, but we might not have. No, he was gracious in his defeat. He wished Bayern well. Was like, hey, fair play. They're a good team. They gave us a good run. And going, wow. And just thank the fans who came all the way out and trekked all the way out there, because they left New Zealand in May. So they have actually been at their training facility for quite some time, trying to get used and acclimated to the heat. So they left New Zealand in late May and have been here for a long time. I mean, to travel from Auckland and I'm trying to remember exactly where their training facility is. I don't know. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's somewhere on the East Coast. They had to travel. That's nearly a 38 hour journey, all things considered, right? With all the layovers that they have to do. It is, it's rough.
That is an absolutely long way out.
It's rough.
So it was an absolute.
They're in Chattanooga. You know what? They're not that far from Wade. They're actually down in Chattanooga.
Go down and see your buddies and go and support them as well, Qooligan, right? You're not too far from them.
I would, but there's a time change. Unfortunately, if I have to go into Chattanooga, I have to cross over into Eastern Standard Time, and that just messes with my head. I've already done that once today. I don't want to do it again.
Indeed, So I mean, Bayern again, with the way the groups are as well, I think. Yeah, Bayern, I think we discussed this obviously in the preamble as well. We knew that obviously it's going to be basically Bayern are guaranteed to go through. And obviously with that, even with the goal difference as well, they probably just need to get another draw. And you could see there was a degree where they did start to bring in the kids a little bit. Vincent Kompany, the manager, just starts bringing the kids as well. And I think there was one moment where Bayern had a chance to, Auckland had a chance and they actually got a corner. I think that was probably the most sort of like dangerous part of the moments as well that they got to as well. So yeah, it was when I say unfair, it was just obviously just not a comparable fight. So it was it was a
mismatch. It was a mismatch, and hey, it happens at these types of tournaments.
Yeah.
I wonder what the odds were on Auckland getting a single corner in this match. Like, would that have been plus money?
Right?
Sure, I'm sure.
I think Auckland getting a goal must have been big plus money.
Yeah, well, yeah, that was unfortunately,
I thought they could do it, and they did have. To be fair, I believe they did have 2 shots on frame.
Mm-hmm.
I think they had a total of 2 shots on frame, and they had like a brief moment where they might have been able to do something, but it
I'm seeing 1 total shot, 1 shot on target on Sofa Score.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
If you add 1 and 1, that makes 2. I know that's not real good math. Even, I mean,
against 10.
I wasn't a public school kid, I was a public school kid, but even my math is, somewhat sketch.
Yeah. So
I bet that player, if he went home and told his friends, like at the beginning of the season, like, I'm going to have a shot on goal on Manuel Neuer before the end of the season, they would have said, what is going on? You're absolutely out of your mind. And
good luck.
He did it. And you gotta, I'm a big like Wrexham fan, and like their theme song is like, don't forget to sing when you win. Like, you got to celebrate the small wins. And for a player getting a shot off on net on Bayern, that is a win in some of these things. And it's like this strange place where it's a really weird juxtaposition for me watching the Gold Cup. And like, if Mexico, Dominican Republic went 10-0 in either way, you would have a separate scoreline for broken bones in the match. And when you talk about the players being more sporting in this match, I think that kind of speaks to like where my brain's been for the last 2 months. I'm like, how do you get a 10-0 and no one's hurt? Is that what's going on here?
This is true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the one success that these guys can come away with is that Harry Kane didn't score a goal. He did.
No, he didn't. They held him to 0.
They held him down. They didn't get a chance. Obviously, I think the threat came from the 2 wings, obviously from Koeman and then Boué and then Elise as well. Thankfully, I realized I didn't have Harry Kane in my fantasy team, which was great. I did have Elise as well, so there were some points to be picked up there as well. However, I did not have
sandbagging son of a gun.
I ended up switching out for Haaland as well.
You were telling me all about the Kane tip, and
I thought, So what you went and put him in, but Jamal Musiala did come in and score a hat trick, obviously from the bench as well. So
17 minutes. 17-minute hat trick.
Pretty impressive. Yeah, Thomas Muller as well managed to get on the score sheet, obviously as well, which was obviously.
It's a nice swan song for him.
This is his swan song.
He's been a class act for them for a long time, so that makes sense.
I agree. No, it was fantastic, and so they were there. So look, Bayern, I don't think we had any other doubts about this as well. So it was again Auckland. They again, considering sort of the level that they are and sort of position they were 10-0, it's they got a hiding. I hope they've got 2 other games.
As an amateur club, they just got a $3 million paycheck. Thank you very much.
You get a $3 million for a win. They don't get anything for it. You don't get
No. They get $3 million just for showing up.
Just for showing up, right? They show up. So just for showing up. So hopefully, look again, they've still got obviously who are they going to play against? Benfica and Boca Juniors as well. If they can squeeze out a draw and then squeeze out a little bit more money for this as well, that would be a wonderful thing for them. I think it would. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. So I think that sort of, let's put that game to rest as well. Yeah, that was that mauling over. And then moving on from one mauling to another mauling, PSG against Atletico. Now, Qooligan, you and I last night said this was going to be a tight, tetchy game. It was a little bit of a tight, tetchy game.
And it was tetchy, all right.
And then it wasn't.
Was it tetchy?
And then all of a sudden it wasn't, right? And then all of a sudden it wasn't tight. Yeah. And then PSG, I think they ended up winning 4-0 on this one as well.
It was 4-0.
They PSG, again, it was kind of a sort of, it really is impressive how just dominant PSG have suddenly become in the last 12 months, particularly sort of with Luis Enrique sort of managing them and driving them as well.
I think it's interesting that I look at that scoreline of 4-0, and I think that's far worse for Atletico than Auckland losing 10-0. I don't think Auckland had any shame. They went back to Chattanooga with their chins up and feeling fine. Atletico did not get the same, does not feel the same. And I can guarantee you that Simeone did not let them leave that dressing room without a massive verbal tongue lashing. I mean, if he didn't actually punch people, who knows, man, what that guy does, but wow.
Yeah.
It wasn't pretty for them. It really wasn't pretty.
Yeah. For me, I really thought the turning point was like the 59th minute when Julian Alvarez had a goal taken away, because it was 2-0 at that point. And once you score that goal and the way the team is uplifted, it's just the excitement, you're back in it. You're going to turn around. And once that gets deflated, the stadium once that goal gets called back. And then, from there, it's a different match, So I kind of think that there were kind of two different games before that call and after that call, because Atletico was still somewhat competitive. They were getting some chances. It wasn't like a complete blowout. The possession was a complete blowout, and I'm not sure I completely expected that, but it was really the 59th minute, that goal getting called back. You'll see teams over and over in any level of play. You're not coming back from that. That is just such a morality breaker.
It was, yeah, the VAR pulling it back. The other thing as well, which was interesting as well, they brought in the water break, or the every 30 minutes.
They have to do the hydration break because the heat index was too high. Yeah,
it was quite up there as well. But what was interesting, again, there's all this narrative going around about the stadiums are going to be empty, no one's going to turn up. 80,000 people were in the Rose Bowl today. Okay, they showed up. There were fans who absolutely packed it.
They're two of the biggest teams in the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't think you're going to see a Rose Bowl turnout that's going to even come close to that. And I'm not trying to naysay anything. Let's be honest. It's PSG. It's Atletico Madrid. These guys have global followings everywhere. So yeah, you're gonna pull that crowd. Why not?
Yeah. The other interesting thing as well was Dembele and also Barcola, the two French nationals, were not even named on the bench because obviously they played in the Gold Cup, obviously sort of in the this past week as well. So I think Luis Enrique decided to.
Botafogo just scored in the 29th minute. 1-0.
There we go.
0.
Okay. All right, Botafogo. Interesting. Okay, well, we're going
to let you know.
Go and catch the second half after this.
Because we are live right now.
So basically, Atletico Madrid had a full strength team. PSG had one of their star striker, Dembele, and then Barcola as well, their sort of reserve player as well, rested, and they still ran over them 4-0 as well. It just speaks to how dominant and how strong PSG are. And I think we said this as well, Qooligan, in the beginning. They are the team to beat. If you want to win this tournament and you want to get through, you're going to have to beat PSG. They are going to be the dominant team here for sure.
So
Agreed.
Two things that I really thought about this match, and the first is watching live. I want to know if it was contractually obligated to mention that it was in the Rose Bowl every 30 seconds, because it was so pronounced. It was annoying to hear how much the Rose Bowl. That's a great place to have any sporting event. I think that's where the World Cup final was in 96.
94, yes, 1994. It was there.
Yeah,
yes,
back when I was in you don't want to know where I was in 94.
Wait a minute. Was that where Chastain also was? She in the Rose Bowl when when they went on the Pence and she took the shirt off? That iconic moment that might have been in the Rose Bowl too.
That might have been.
Anyway,
and last year, July 4th, LA Galaxy played LAFC in the Rose Bowl in front of 70,000 people, El Trafico. So they have like a kind of a long history of some really iconic soccer matches there. And if you watch college football, I mean, that's like the place to be. So that was always, awesome. And I'm sure it was electric to be there. But my question for you guys is like, I did a little preliminary research. PSG has a chance to win a quadruple this year.
Correct. Yeah.
That's happened one other time, Celtic in 66-67. Like, damn, where do you have to put
deep.
PSG?
That's a deep pull, man. That's amazing.
That is. Thank you.
All right. Wow. Jesus, Qooligan. We might need to bring Bob on as a researcher as well. That is a one from the depths as well.
That's good, very impressive. All right.
It's a 3-second type into ChatGPT to pull that one up. There are teams who've won other minor trophies, but that's like the major European one. Where would this PSG team land in like the history of great clubs if they can pull 4 trophies off?
I think
it's big enough to make it matter.
It would be.
Yes.
It's the kickstart of the dynasty. That's really what it is, right? It's the real kickstart because it's just getting going. And the question would be, can they sustain it? Can they go do this again for over the next 5 years? Can they go and get? I think they're always going to win the French league because there's just no other real sort of competition in the French league. They're always going to win the French Cup because, again, there's no other real competition just because the sheer size and money and the prestige of their team. So the question is can they keep delivering on the Champions League? And then this new tournament will come around every 4 years. So what?
No, 2 years.
Is it every 2 years?
You keep saying it's every 4 years, and it's every 2 years.
Okay, well, I'll have to double check that one as well. But yeah, but even if they keep coming around, but I think if they keep winning the Champions League, then yes, they will be. If they continue and keep it up, and they do have a young team, they do have an incredible sort of lineup. That Kavicha, Dembele, and Doué as well, really young team. They look absolutely fantastic. They're entertaining to watch. Yeah.
In terms of greatness, Bob, I think because they are winning the French League and the French Cup, that is the only reason why certain people will put an asterisk next to that. Because it is not quite as difficult as some of the other leagues, like the Premier League or even La Liga, which is much more difficult.
To me, it's like a form thing where you would think that a team like Barcelona, who plays real teams, some of these English teams, Manchester City, who are playing week in and week out against competitive sides, they're in that form already. But for PSG to be playing against some of these teams in France, and then they turn it on in Champions League, and it's just like a switch goes off. Like, that's what's impressive to me, is that they did not have to put in a full effort for a lot of games this season, but when it comes time, it's there. And I was not expecting that result.
That is also part of the advantage as well, is which they can just basically canter through the season. And then when it comes to sort of like the end of the season, when the other big clubs are tired and sort of, injuries and suspensions and problems are sort of coming in, they all of a sudden they can sort of like turn it on and just kick into another gear. But this hasn't always been the case. This is the first season they've really done this. Historically, they've always crumbled at this. They just haven't had that sort of big club mentality. So I definitely think it's the sort of new direction that the ownership and the leadership have decided to take them in. They brought in Luis Enrique, this ex-Barcelona manager player as well, to sort of come in, and obviously he's done really well, and he's turned them around and turned them into a team rather than a sort of a collection of superstars. So so they will. It is an interesting thought process to say, could they be considered one of sort of the all-time great teams if they continue on? Yes, winning this quadruple, I think it is an anomaly and not the fairest comparison, because this new format of the competition has just arisen, and maybe the other teams didn't get a chance to sort of have a crack at it. But if they do continue winning the Champions League, and again, I think the next 2 or 3 times in the next 5 years, they're definitely considered up there as one of the great teams of all time for sure. Yeah,
good point.
Cool. Okay, and then moving on to the third game that obviously has happened as well. Obviously, I know there's a fourth one going on at the moment, but then there was the Palmeiras Porto game. This was the game I was most looking forward to watching, and I would say it was very analogous to this Miami Al Ahly game that happened last night. A really entertaining 0-0. It was all Palmeiras. It reminded me a lot of Al Ahly, which is, and again, the comparison is what sort of my determination is. They were all over Porto. Porto really were on the back foot. Palmeiras were running over them. They have this young kid that I've been really excited to watch as well. It's by the name of Estevão Willian. He looked very good. However, you can see he's young. He's still light. He still gets to sort of fully develop and mature as well. And just, sort of the body probably needs a few more years to sort of bulk up and get a little bit stronger. But you can see with his technique and his footwork that he's very good. But similar to Al Ahly, they were very good technically, very good moving the ball forward, very quick. Couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. Just couldn't score. Can't score, won't score. And that was a real problem for them. And obviously the game ended 0-0. So any of you guys either catch the highlights or catch this game or have any thoughts here?
Yeah, my kind of thought was here that they kept saying that Porto is so used to playing with possession. They did have 45% possession, but I think that they looked the best when they were on the counterattack, when they didn't have the ball. This guy, Samuel Agahoa, I've never watched him play before. I have not seen Porto play a single match. When he was running, it was like his hands were made of flippers and he was just flapping. Man, he's got some speed. And there were a couple of times where he was wide open on the break and he continued a few steps past the defenders and the ball, just the service wasn't there. A couple more balls over the top, they might have really been cooking with fire. It would have only taken one.
Yeah. Sam, I call him Sammy A, just so I don't butcher his last name. But we called him out last night in our preview of this game. I said, this is the kid to watch. He is he's a big, tall, traditional number 9. And I mentioned he stands there and waits for service. And if he gets his service, he's super dangerous. And if he doesn't, I mean, he's not going to create the opportunities. He's there to exploit the opportunities that he's given. But I thought he had a couple of chances where he made some deep, nice runs, was able to be really dangerous. I thought that was exciting. And yes, Estevão, I believe he had a couple of chances right towards the end of the first half, Garrett, and there was some insane double block by the goalkeeper, and then a block off the line by the defender. I mean, wow. That just it got my arm hairs raised, because I was like, that's just some magic and manic defense right there.
Yeah, it was tight.
Incredible.
Speaking of other players to watch out for, there was the Porto player. There's this 18-year-old that they had by the name of Rodrigo Mora. He looked very good. I really did that look very dynamic, very good with his feet, very intelligent. Again, he did look dangerous as well. And we've been discussing this and saying there are going to be some breakout stars and some breakout young players who are going to obviously get moves out of this. I would definitely put him into that list as well. Rodrigo Mora, obviously, of Porto, looked very, very good. And I did like the look at them for sure.
He reminded me almost like a Ricky Puig type player. Maybe not with as much ball handling, but maybe it's the hair, maybe like the Justin Bieber like 2010 hair that he's got going on there too.
He still had the blonde tips as well. He reminded me also a little bit of a young João Felix as well. I don't know if you're sort of familiar with him as well.
Okay.
He looked like that type of player. He's that sort of like number 10, sort of sits in the pocket as well and can move the ball around, very smart, and can sort of has all the tricks and sort of definitely you can see he's definitely going to be sort of catching the eyes of a lot of scouts.
He is, without a doubt, he is the youngest on the Porto lineup.
18 years old.
18. Yeah, he's 18 years old.
What year was he born? Do I want to ask that question? I always like hearing it's 2007.
It was 2007.
He's a COVID baby. Is that it?
Yikes.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're coming through, but they're coming up. Yeah, but he definitely looked very exciting as well. So there was definitely lots of young talents available as well. So that was all coming in. Okay, wonderful. Well, guys, I think obviously that sort of brings us to
just to give you an update, we are now in the 40th minute or 39th minute just started of the Botafogo Seattle Sounders, and that goal was scored, for those who are keeping tabs on it. That goal was scored by Jair. Oh, really?
They just scored. They just scored a second. Look at that. Yeah.
Am I behind? My feed must be behind. Oh.
God, Bob Ventimiglia. We might need to transfer.
44th minute. Jesus.
Wow. Okay. So then I am completely and utterly behind on my feed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, now,
spoiler alert, ladies and gentlemen.
There we go. So Botafogo as well, looking good. So again, like once you've got that first win under your belt, you're in really good shape. So just looking at that Group A, you've got 4 teams now who will have 1 point as well. So it's all to play for as well. It's
the best thing to ever happen to Group A. I mean, it is. These next 2 games are on like Donkey Kong, man. It is going to be nuts.
You get a win, and you're in great shape as well. Like you lose, you're in real trouble as well. So that could be it. Obviously, Group B. Obviously, it looks like now PSG and Botafogo have the win, assuming Botafogo go on to beat Seattle Sounders. But I think the most interesting thing about this tournament and this competition that I've also been interested is to be able to see the levels of all the different clubs from all the different regions actually go up against each other in a sort of comparable competition. And so seeing Palmeiras against Porto, seeing a Brazilian team against a Portuguese team, they were at them, and they were absolutely very comparable. And then again, the other question is does this Brazilian team Botafogo against an MLS team? Now, admittedly, Bob, obviously, I don't know if you'll disagree or agree with me, but the Sounders are probably not in the best form. Particularly when they won the Champions Cup, right? To actually qualify for this tournament. Yeah, so they're quite out of it as well. But yeah, you can definitely see. And then of course tomorrow we've got the other game in Group C. We've got Benfica against Boca Juniors as well. So that will be, so how does the Argentinian team compare against the other Portuguese team? That will be interesting. And then, of course, we've got the other 2 Group T games of Flamenco against Tunis, and then, of course, LAFC against a little team from West London by the name of Chelsea that we won't spend too much time to.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see Chelsea lose. Oh, wait, did I say that out loud? I'm so sorry.
I shared last year. This last night in one of our group chats there. There was a 2015 preseason Chelsea game at Red Bull Arena. I know because I sold my first row tickets for the cost of my entire season ticket and watched on TV. But it was a friendly preseason. Red Bull played a B squad. Chelsea played their A squad. Red Bull won 4-2 in that match, and that was the 2015-2016 season where I believe Chelsea was first place the previous season and 10th place the next year. We joke that it was like the jinx game. It was like the game that Chelsea just couldn't emotionally recover from that match. So weird things happen with Chelsea in the United States, and I would like for no other team to take a loss than them.
Well, Bob, I respect your researching skills and your podcasting skills, but bad juju to you as well. This is
fair play.
Anyway, wonderful, guys. Well, that's the time. Obviously, that brings us up to 30 minutes. Bob, just want to give everyone just a quick
join us
shout out
again.
where they can find, where they can find you and sort of get more of your content and more of your insights as well, please.
You could find me on all social media, Bob V Soccer. You can find that's Twitter. Blue Sky is kind of the preferred service there, but you can find that on all socials. YouTube.com/@TheDesignated or just search The Designated Pundits on all your favorite podcast platforms. Now on Spotify with video.
Sweet.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
Wonderful.
We love it.
Well, Bob, it's been a pleasure having you on. Appreciate and respect all of the researching skills and the analytical insights as well. It's definitely put the Qooligan out to shame. So we'll definitely have you back on for sure. Qooligan, as always, thank you very much. And until tomorrow, more soccer, more football, more games,
more joy.
It's endless. All right, guys.
Indeed.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Peace.